as you can tell, Winston had no answers there. I mean, he was all over the shop, and quite frankly, he's been all over the shop in the same way that he's been all over the landscape of political parties in this country. I think even UKIP won't have the man now. I'm not even sure what political party is a party to at the moment, and honestly, he needs to probably go back to the Big Brother house where he used to be. I mean, absolute nonsense, absolute nonsense. The fact is, he's talking about immigration of non-EU citizens, of EU migrants to the UK. And the evidence shows very clearly that the majority of migrants to the UK over the last couple of years have been non-EU migrants. EU migrants do not make up the majority of migrants to the UK. And okay, admittedly, the gap, the difference in numbers between EU migrants and non-EU migrants coming to the United Kingdom has narrowed remarkably. But as of today, the highest proportion of migrants into the United Kingdom have been non-EU migrants.
Well, let's pick up another point he's talking about here, the Commonwealth. He says we should be trading closer with the Commonwealth than the EU. We've got this historic connection with these countries, of course, from, not always the comfortable history of our empire, but we've got this historic connection. Should we not be focusing on them and forgetting about our newer friends in the EU?
Look, admittedly, I think there are some challenges which being in the European Union poses in terms of us being able to trade more freely with other non-European Union countries. And I think that is something that needs to change in some way, shape or form. But look, the bottom line, as I see it, is this. Britain, if we actually wanted to say, for example, again, let's just go back quickly on the immigration point. I'll answer the more of the economic and trading issue in a second. If Britain wanted to open up its borders to Commonwealth migrants of all shades and shapes tomorrow, it can. The European Union has absolutely nothing to do with the migration of non-EU citizens into the UK. So, with the migration of EU citizens, yes, there's a free movement of people in that regard. But the reason why a lower number of non-EU migrants are coming to the UK is purely a matter of UK government immigration policy. So that has got nothing to do with the EU. And again, something else that Winston kept banging on about are about things that have nothing to do with the European Union. Just the other day, I had a good friend who runs a business talking about how, in my area, I have all these houses that have been boarded up. And we've got all the people in London, who are homeless. If we leave the EU, that will be sorted out. And I just sat there and said, what? So you're blaming the EU for houses being boarded up on your street? He talked about school. Look, it could go on and on. But look, on the small substantive issue of Commonwealth trading, I think there's an opportunity that we're probably missing in that regard, and there's some challenges there. And I think that's an area of reform that I think if the EU was smart, you've got to realize that the area that's growing the most at the moment is the Commonwealth areas of the world. And I think it would be wise to try and look at putting in some kind of free trade agreements with those areas. And just one last thing I will also say. Those who want us to leave the European Union, they have been making absolutely outlandish promises to try and woo Commonwealth voters, apparently. Now, can you just picture this? A situation where we leave the European Union and the UK government, who's now not encumbered with European Union restrictions, suddenly allows free trade within the agricultural sector of African farmers to the UK, to the detriment of UK farmers. I mean, do you really see that happening in Britain? So one of my concerns is that, and I'm hoping to get some kind of clearance on this from people who want us to leave the European Union, do they seriously believe that the agricultural policy that we have in Britain will be any more advantageous to African farmers? And quite frankly, I don't see it happening.